Hello, everyone. Alex Meller at Capmion here. If you've been living under a rock, you might not have heard that the cryptocurrency world is in a state of tumult right now. Following the collapse of the prominent exchange FTX, possible some criminal stuff there, and contagion to other crypto lenders, people are freaking out. I think, however, this particular tactical issue in the space is resolved probably more broadly at a crossroads where people are going to reevaluate why are we doing this and why. And I thought this was an interesting moment to revisit the privacy coins that I've talked about in some of my past videos. And I'll bring that back to broader issues at the end. So in this video, I'm going to focus in particular on Litecoin. You may have seen in one of my past videos that Litecoin this past summer adopted, and this is a mouthful on purpose, I'm sorry, Mimblewimble, a privacy protocol to make more of the information that appears on the blockchain private. There's a lot of interesting reasons you should or shouldn't do this, and there's some interesting storytelling about Litecoin in particular. So Litecoin was one of the very first altcoins. It was initially an open wholesale Bitcoin ripoff, and that you can just take the code, start up a new blockchain, find some new miners, give it a different name, really exactly the same widget, just rebrand it again. I think, side note, there's some problems with this scarcity kind of digital gold argument about crypto more broadly, that maybe there's only so many Bitcoins that are ever going to exist, but then you can just make a new parallel blockchain and create a new altcoin anytime you want. But anyway, so altcoin is old, and it is pretty basic bitch originally. And the storytelling is that they wanted to add this privacy feature to differentiate themselves in an increasingly competitive marketplace full of other altcoins similar to Litecoin and then the original Bitcoin. And this is, I think, generally the reason you're going to see more privacy stuff coming your way. Of course, there's new regulation, there's all these different things, but at the end of the day, people think you might like it and it might make them stand out in the marketplace. So how did this decision go? Long time, very vanilla. Do some avant-garde privacy stuff in the summer, new features. Well, how have people reacted? So the negative of why you might not want to be a privacy coin is it makes life harder for anti-money laundering. And probably, and this is especially exposed now with these problems with exchanges collapsing, well, if you want your coin to be successful, it has to plug into the rest of the economy. Normal folks spending normal fiat currency, it's got to plug into the rest of the economy at some point, or you're not really going to get broad uptake. And so we saw after Litecoin adopted these privacy features, it was dropped by two exchanges, both in South Korea, because they viewed it as a headache that was going to make it difficult for them to comply with their anti-money laundering regulations. So that's the danger. And you could say in this case, it appears to have gone relatively well. And then it was two minor exchanges in South Korea. It didn't lead to wholesale delisting, making the coin totally unavailable. Fast forward a little bit. How much can we say that this product differentiation move has helped them more broadly? I think I've joked in these videos before, this is not an investment advice, and I'm not sure if any sound investment advice is even possible. There's this boiling sea of these altcoins. The prices go up and down. Probably some of it's front running and market manipulation and bad reasons. And not a good thing to peer too deeply into convincing yourself you know everything about what's going on. But in the sort of post-FTX wreckage, Litecoin has been doing particularly well. To the extent I could see anybody going out on a limb guessing about why, maybe they've done some things right from a brand positioning standpoint that other people should emulate. So being old is great right now. Old kind of projects sturdiness. But then among old things, they've also got something different to say about themselves. And I think this is This is not the only way you can set yourself out as a good project in the cryptocurrency world right now, but it is a way. We've been around a long time. We're on a lot of exchanges, and then we've got something new and different that's beyond other coins a little bit. And so I want to close with two thoughts. A, this privacy move, it appears to have had pros and cons. You did it in the right way. You only lost a couple minor exchanges. And now you just got something to talk about. Why am I special? And why is this other coin really just a boring clone coin we don't care about? And then second, the exchanges are important. And at some point, people talk all this trash about decentralization, but then there's questions about how do ordinary people take the paycheck and get their hands on this thing? Exchanges are important. That both directly feeds these issues of delisting, because you've got to make sure that, these are businesses that have to obey real rules. They're not just some guy in Dubai running a miner in his basement anymore. And then also we've seen it's very problematic that maybe exchanges don't obey the rules. So I think telling you something you might have already known, a thing to watch is what is the evolution of the exchange, that type of business, and what kind of regulations are on it that get obeyed or, unfortunately, or not obeyed. So I'll continue to monitor this issue. Cryptocurrency is a very interesting avant-garde adopter of private computation. And then, of course, there's an interesting story of how does that, but business things, if you can call that in the crypto world.